Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello and welcome. Felicia Lonobile, Love Yourself Coaching. Welcome. So, what is this online event about and what is Mastermind Magic? Well, when two or more people come together in conversation, a synergy happens and ideas that would not otherwise come to mind reveal themselves. And that is the magic of the mastermind. Today, we are here to use the power of a mastermind to provide you magic of the mastermind. And to provide you with real action steps that you can apply immediately. Now, who are we? We are a group of life enhancers who are highly trained, deeply intuitive, and have a passion for helping people. We are here to help you take the steps to live a life you love living. We do have a disclaimer. We are not doctors or therapists. It is important that you seek medical direction from licensed doctors in regard to any medical conditions. We simply offer alternative thought patterns, not with the intent to replace medical advice in any way, shape, or form, but to enhance a better understanding of yourself.
Hi, everyone. This is Eric Bastian from Be Your Best Self Coaching. During our event today, feel free to post your comments and questions. If you'd like to ask us a question, select the down arrow near the bottom of your comments area, near the word to everyone, and select to admin, this is actually on the right-hand side of your screen. This will allow your question to be sent exclusively to us and not to everyone. Now, if at any time the video freezes or the connection quality isn't good, just press the reconnect button, which is above us to refresh your connection. There are Facebook and Twitter links on the page, so you are welcome to let people know you are here. Feel free to share with all your friends. Now make sure to like us and to share us on Facebook so that you can stay updated on future events and receive many added life-enhancing tips. Check at the top of your chat for the link if you haven't visited our page yet. Now we are scheduled to be here for an hour or so make sure that you stay on until the end to receive a special gift from us. Thank you.
Hi, this this is Andrea from Inspired Life Mastery, and we've changed our format a little bit this year. So in 2018, we are going to do a Working with the Law series, and we're going to do a new universal law every month. There are 11 of them, and we're going to go through each one every month. First, we'll go through Working with the Law, then the Law of Attraction will be in February, as we would expect. The Law of Increase is in February, March. The Law of Compensation is in April, and on we go until we get all the way to December with the Law of Receiving. So each month we're going to do a new law, and this month is going to be on working with the law so that we understand how to actually work with the laws. So, Athina, do we have those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I will bring up we're going to start off, like Andrea said, with working with the law. So we're going to go over generally what we're going to be going over this year. So we're just going to start you off with the basics of working with the law. So I'll bring up the slides for Andrea. So here we go.
Okay, so this month is all about working with the law. And in order to work with the law, we have to be, they are, like I said, they are universal laws, whether we believe them or not, whether we work with them, whether we understand them, they work. So we want to get in harmony with them, and we want to cooperate with them. And if we are aware of them, then we can cooperate with them. And when we're in harmony with them, everything comes to us. And it is the realization of the law in action that actually determines manifestation. So if you realize what you're doing, you can actually manifest. And we're going to go much more into that with the law of attraction. The law is that the mind is no greater than its conceptions, which means that if you can't think it, you can't do it. So whatever you can think is what you can create. And all that we may ever desire to be and to have is ours for the asking as we correctly apply the law of life. So when we start working with these laws, and by the end of the year, you're all going to be experts at this. Well, maybe not experts, but you're going to have a really good knowledge of this. And we're going to learn how to correctly apply each law to our lives with concrete tools that we can go out and use immediately, just like Felicia told us. So,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so are you ready to wrap up there?
Yeah, I saw you come on. It kind of threw me off. Yeah, so when we are in harmony with those laws, that's when, and our vibration comes up, that's when we start to be able to manifest. And that's what we're going to teach you this year.
Yeah. So like Andrea said, we're going over the Working with the Law series. So really how these universal laws can be applied to your life. All of our webinars are going to have elements in them where you're going to be able to apply things right away to your life and be able to receive the results from that. So today we're going to be talking about how to stay on track with either your resolutions or your goals. So we're going to go into multiple things about that. So first, we're going to start off actually with Felicia. She's going to be sharing with us about the 5 simple steps to be able to stick to your 2018 resolutions. So we're going to head and switch on over to Felicia. So hold on a second here.
Hello, Felicia Lonobile, Loving Yourself Coaching. Again, welcome and thank you for joining us today. Today I'm going to speak about 5 simple ways to stick to your 2018 New Year's resolutions. Did you know that 80% of people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the second week of February. Sad but true. So today I'm going to share 5 simple and easy ways that can help you stick to your resolutions. All right, let's begin. Way number 1 is remembering the real goal. People tend to forget what health is for. Health is not the price. Having a better life is the price. Healthy people have more fun, more energy, more vitality, more capability. Once you understand how abundantly investment in health pays you back, staying motivated simply isn't an issue. Our mindset and overall approach to life have a significant impact on our health and well-being. Every time you have a negative thought like, oh, I'm fat, or I'm awful, counter it with a positive thought like, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful. And even though at first these words may sound flawed, I promise you that over time, that positive voice will strengthen. Something else that you can do to further strengthen that positive voice. Maybe you can start by adding at least 10-minute daily meditation as well as deep breathing exercises throughout the day. Or you may want to add your 10-minute meditation at the end of your physical activity. And this way you'll accomplish both a healthy mind and a healthy body on a daily basis. An easier approach to this would be to ask yourself, what's the one activity that I love to do? Instead of looking at an exercise or an activity as a chore, ask yourself, what's one activity that I would absolutely love to do? An example of that would be, what's fun for me? And that is walking, going on an 8-10 mile stretch at least 3 times a week, and attending tribe classes. And since I love and enjoy these physical activities, because of the way it makes me feel, it makes it that much easier to stay motivated. So the secret here is find the one thing you love to keep you motivated. And this now takes us to way number 2, and that is what steps you can take to start tracking your progress. In order to start tracking your progress, you must first take a step back and look at the big picture. What's the purpose of waking up in the morning and getting the day started? Why? Now think about these things and answer these questions with the end result in mind. Where do you see yourself in the future in every aspect of your life? Take the time to reflect on your goal and imagine what this big picture looks like. It's very important for you to see the bigger picture instead of living day to day with no direction or motivation. Fantasize about that want. Focus on it and make it a part of you. And work with a daily planner. A planner is absolutely essential to your success. And the next most important tool that can help you reinforce your why every single day. And this now moves us to way number 3, and that is accountability. Motivation may get you started, but when it comes to achieving a goal and sustaining the results, you may need to rely on more than your desire to succeed. Whether it's a friend with similar goals, a personal trainer, or a training group, Accountability partners serve as confidants, motivators, or may serve as a means to keep you in check. And surrounding yourself with the right people in your corner can help increase the level of your commitment, motivation, and help you through the tough times. 5 reasons why an accountability partner could be the secret weapon to you in accomplishing your next milestone. And the 5 reasons are: reason number 1, they will be your biggest cheerleader. Reason number 2, they will celebrate every milestone on your journey, no matter how small. Reason number 3, they will challenge you to make what seems impossible possible. Reason number 4, they will make sure that your goal remains a priority. And reason number 5, they will prove you that you are not alone on your journey. Statistics have shown that 80% of the people statistics have shown that most people who meet 80% of their New Year's resolution, the secret is having an accountability partner or a group to support them on their journey. And this now takes us to way number 4, and that is just go for it. Make a commitment and write it down on a card. You just need a short phrase to carry in your wallet or to keep in the car or by your bed and on your bathroom mirror for that extra dose of positive reinforcement. Repeating an image or a picture over and over in your mind will materialize it. And this now takes us to way number 5, and that is start small. Make a resolution that you think you can keep. For example, if your aim is to exercise more frequently, schedule 3 to 4 times a week instead of 7. If you wanted to eat healthier, try replacing your dessert for something you love, like a fruit or a yogurt, instead of looking at your diet as a form of punishment. Make today the day you suspend belief in condition and instead believe in the power that is breathing you, that's breathing in you, or the power breathing you. When doubts and uncertainties arises, and it's not an if, it's a when, I'm going to ask you to reconnect to your why. What is your
Right.
almost finished?
Yes. So thank you very much for sharing, Felicia. And just to recap what Felicia had shared with us, first, it was remembering your goal. So remembering your goal and making sure that it is something that motivates you. She went over a lot of details about that. And also tracking your progress. So having a method for doing that. And actually, we're going to be going into that a little bit more in detail with some of our other presenters here in a moment. And actually your secret weapon. So your secret weapon can be your accountability partner, some way to hold you accountable to where you want to go. The other is going for it, really making that commitment to the goals that you have. And the last that she was sharing about was starting small. You know, start small and build from there. So make sure that when you are doing things, it's actually stretching yourself. So I'm going to come back to everyone and see if there's any other things to share in the moment. So did anybody else have anything to share? So Eric, I'll bring you up.
First of all, I was awesome, Felicia. Thank you very much for that information. One of the things that I loved that is very personal to me is having an accountability partner. I know that Andrea, who's also on this webinar, we've actually created a sort of like, we're reading partners together, and we keep us accountable. We read every single day. at a certain time. And we keep, especially when it comes to all these success books and working with the law, for example, we work really well together, and it's a great way to definitely a great way to make sure that your resolutions stick. So that's what I had to say.
Yes. So Andrea, do you have anything else to add from what Felicia was saying?
More, what I had to add was what Eric said. You know, when you're going through material that you're not familiar with, it's very helpful to have somebody else there who will. What I really want to say is, when you have two people together, Mastermind happens. You only have to have one other person with you, and when Eric and I are together, that mastermind, that third mind comes into play, and it really does help get through whatever you're doing. So accountability partners are very, very important. Thank you so much, Felicia.
Yeah. And like Andrea was saying, really having that other person there, because a lot of times we may have, you could term it a blockage, or I really can't think of anything that I could do differently. But then the other person that you're there with, and you trust them, and that person believes in you, then they're able to receive that answer that could possibly help you, and be able to receive it, and then be able to discuss that with you. And then you're like, hey, I never have thought of that before. Thank you for sharing. So and then really they're doing that out of respect for you, out of love for you, and really wanting to help you to move forward. So that accountability partner definitely is a secret weapon, like Felicia was sharing. So the next, actually, we're going to have Eric up next, and he's going to be talking about actually managing your time. And really it is about managing your energy. So we're going to bring up Eric, and we're going to start up some slides for Eric. So here we go.
Hi again, it's Eric Bashan from Be Your Best Self Coaching. First of all, we're almost at the end of the month in this case, but I wanted to wish everyone a very, very happy new year and a very successful 2018 to you and to all your loved ones. So I just wanted to start off by saying that. Now, I'm going to be talking about, because we're talking on the topic of setting resolutions, I'm going to be talking about managing your time and energy. Now, you can't really manage your time. I want you to think something a little bit differently about time. We don't really manage time, but we can manage activities. And one of the best ways to manage activities is to put everything in a calendar. We're all familiar with calendars. I'm going to be talking specifically about online calendars today, and also dry erase calendars as well. If you're visual like me, having a dry erase calendar is a wonderful thing. So I'm just going to go through these slides with you. The very first slide that I have here is if you're in Google, you can actually just type in, how do I create a Google Calendar? And here, let me just go to the next slide here. Give me a quick second here. I'm having some difficulties here with the slides. Here we go. All right, and you'll get some instructions on how to do that. So just follow those instructions. Google is great for that. So once you've created your account, I'll just go to the next slide. Here we go. This is I'm just giving you a glimpse of my calendar. Now, in my case, I live in a family of 4, so I have a calendar. I have a personal calendar, a business calendar. My wife has a calendar. My kids have a calendar as well. And the beauty about having a Google Calendar, number one, it's free. Number two, you can actually color coordinate it as well. So in my case, I've got a dark blue and a light blue. So I know when I'm looking at the calendar, those are my events. So it's very useful. And you'll see just sort of on the left-hand side here, and I'll just sort of circle, you can see all my different calendars in this area. The other beautiful thing as well is that your friends, if they've got online Google calendars as well, they can actually share their calendars with you, and you're able to see what their schedule is like. So if you're trying to plan a meeting or you're trying to schedule something, an event, you've got that opportunity to see your calendars. Let's just go on to the next slide here. All right, so when you're in your Google Calendar, there's different ways of viewing your calendar. The one that we're looking at right now is the weekly one, which is the one I use most often. But you can also look at your daily calendar, weekly, monthly, the whole year, and you can look at a schedule. So I'm just going to go to the next slide. This is an example of a day calendar. Now in this case, I have my business calendar synced in with my personal calendar. So you'll see in this case, this is my personal, and I also have my coaching as well. All right, and this is a view of my schedule. The schedule is a great function when you're using your smartphone. It's you'll see everything sort of, it's almost like a list, and you can sort of go through your day by looking at your list. So it's a really neat thing, and I'll show you what it looks like, what the icon looks like at the end of the in one of the slides here. So we'll just go on to the next one here. All right, so if you look at the top right here, let me just circle this here for everyone to see. Right over here, oh, I'm gonna try that again here. Doesn't seem to be working, but this area over here, there's an area where there's about 9 squares. If you click on that, it's a drop-down menu, and you will see one of the options is your calendar. So if you just click on that, and your calendar will come up. All right, now this is a picture of my smartphone, my Samsung phone in this case, and that is what the icon looks like. It's the same icon that I just showed you. It'll come up on your phone, and you just click it. And all right, so now we're going to be moving on to dry erase calendars. Dry erase calendars, I've got one that's about 3 by 3 feet, and it sits on my wall in my office. Mine's a 90-day planner or a 3-month planner. You can get a yearly planner, you can get a 4-month planner, and they're wonderful to use. I have one strictly for work purposes. So anything, that I do related to coaching or speaking, Toastmasters, whatever it is that's related to my business, I put that directly on that particular calendar. It's also great because my kids can come in quickly and have a look and say, oh, Dad's busy doing this, or so everyone is in the loop as far as what my activities are, what I'm doing here. And there's the sort of the bird's eye view, or the full calendar, just to give you an idea. So in this case, we're almost at the end of January, so I'll be erasing the January calendar, and I'll actually be putting April there, so I don't have to erase the whole thing. And then I just keep rotating. And that is it for that. And if we can get everybody else on. Oh, I just wanted to say something very quickly as well. When we're establishing resolutions in the year, thank you guys, New Year's resolutions, we're actually establishing a new habit. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the law of sacrifice. We're going to be going into more detail about this in this year. But think of sacrifice in this way. You're giving something of a lower nature for something of a higher nature. And you're going to have to be disciplined to do that. Discipline is giving yourself a command and following that command. So when you think of sacrifice, you're, let's say, sacrificing, I don't know, let's say you want to lose some weight, and therefore you want to exercise, but you've got a very busy schedule, but you also like to watch 3 hours of TV in the evening. Well, you're going to have to sacrifice, let's say, one of those hours of watching television so that you could exercise or go for a walk or do something that's going to serve your purpose or your goal of losing weight. So just keep that in mind when you're using your online calendars. So if everybody can come back on, and anybody has anything to add to what I've just mentioned.
Yeah. So Andrea, did you?
Sacrifice can even be as simple as the thought I can't to the thought I can, just sacrificing a negative thought for a positive one.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I wanted to say was I had a really cool situation around calendarizing my events. I got out my calendar and I put everything in. I put in my fun first, because that's what goes by the wayside, right? So you want to get that in first. And I wrote in all of my workshops for the whole year. And up until that time, I had a real problem finding a place to do my workshops. And then I put it in my calendar. I put my calendar up on my wall. And the next day, I had a lead on a place to have my workshop. And then I went 2 days later to one of my clients, and she said, "Oh," so I was telling her the story, and she said, "Oh, I know a great place," and it was even cheaper than the other place. So magic happens when you use a calendar, and when you're using your calendar, don't just put in the life that you've always known. Calendarize the you that you would love to live, and when you put it in there, there's a date. You're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
That's so true. And what I was going to actually add on to what Eric had shared specifically, and sort of what Andrea was just talking about, is inside of those calendars. Eric did mention the aspect of you can share your calendar with friends. So you don't necessarily have to share with them your main calendar. You can create a calendar where maybe there's some joint activities that you're doing together. I know in coordinating our mastermind group together, there's multiple things that we put together, so there's ways for us to communicate, but also too, you can turn those calendars on and off. So on Eric's presentation, there were these little boxes on the side that kind of color coded the calendar, so you can actually select and deselect those. So when you're looking at your main calendar, if you just want to look at one of them and not all of them at the same time, you have that ability to do that. So you can use that as a tool. And in conjunction with what Andrea was talking about of calendarizing your ideal life, so to speak. So what you could actually do is you can create a calendar within Google Calendars, like Eric was talking about, and create blocks of time of what you would truly love. Maybe it's like Eric was saying, the half hour of exercise. Maybe you want to put that in the morning or the afternoon, thinking of ideally how you would like to create that. So maybe you want to have 3 hours of work time, be able to have a lunch with a friend, and then have another 3 hours of work, and then go and do something fun in the evening, or schedule out a vacation. So you can create almost like your ideal dream calendar in one of the Google Calendars, and then you can turn that off and on, so you can see, am I on track to where I actually want to go, or how far off am I? So that would be another tool that you can use in conjunction with what Eric has shared with us. So that was my input into the conversation. Felicia, did you have anything to add, or you're mute?
Yeah, just a quick recap, because we all had similar things that we said about calendarizing our stuff, and especially when it comes to calendarizing stuff that you would love to see happen. There's nothing better than just taking the time and putting it down on that calendar, figure out the date. It just gets you motivated when you get up in the morning, you look at your calendar, what's on the schedule for today. And it's just amazing to be able to do that and not take it for granted and say, well, I don't need to put it down anywhere. I know what I want. It makes the molecules move when you take the time to put it on the calendar. I'm looking there because my calendar is on my left. Just put everything on the calendar and just start your day. Makes you start on a strong foot. So I just wanted to more or less add to everybody's say, because we know what a calendar does for us. So thank you. Just a little quick addition on my part.
Yeah. And really, like Eric was saying, you can't exactly manage time itself. You're really managing your energy. So when you put those blocks in there, you know that during that time, that's when I'm going to focus and be present, so you can gain the most out of the time that you are using. So you can really just, suck that marrow out of aliveness, so to speak. Just really gain as much as you can in the conversations that you have with people, with the activities that you're doing. You know that this is the dedicated time that you've made the decision for, to be able to move forward. So next we actually have Andrea is going to be speaking on 4 disciplines of execution. So bring up Andrea's slides here.
Thank you, Athina. Okay, so the 4 disciplines of execution. If you want to get something done, if you have something that's very important, you have to pull out the wildly important goals. Let's say you're planning a party. What's the wildly important goals in planning that party? Or if you have a business initiative, I have a woman who is building her business, and she's bringing in an assistant, and the wildly important goal she has is getting all the information out of her head and onto paper so that her assistant knows what to do. So you focus on a wildly important goal. You act on your lead measures. You keep a compelling scoreboard, and you create a cadence of accountability. So the wildly important goal, you want to focus 15 to 20% of your time, which if you sleep for an 8 hours out of your day, it roughly equates to about 2 to 3 hours. So that's why you only want to focus on 1 or 2 goals, because 2 to 3 hours a day, you're going to run out of time very quickly. So, and there has been research done that if you have 1 or 2 goals, you'll get them done. If you have 3 or 4 goals, you'll get 1 or 2 done. And if you have 11 to 20 goals, you'll get none of them done. So we want to just focus on 1 or 2 absolutely crazy important things and focus directly on those. Put all of your attention on those goals for 2 to 3 hours a day, and you'll see how quickly you get them done. The second discipline is to act on your lead measures as opposed to your lag measures. Now you're saying, what are lead measures and what are lag measures? Well, I'll tell you what the lag measure is first, because that's easier. If you're trying to lose weight, the lag measure would be, I've lost 1 or 2 pounds this week. The lead measure would be everything that you did to lead up to the losing of the weight. So it might be you're going to focus on the foods you eat, the exercise that you do, the amount of water you drink. Lead measures, they're influenceable and they're predictable. Influenceable means you have influence over how you do them. And predictive means that you can pretty much predict the outcome. If I don't eat any food, which you should not do, by the way, if I don't eat a lot of food, I'm going to lose 1 or 2 pounds. So you focus on the lead measures as opposed to the lag measures. They'll take care of themselves. The next thing you want to do is to create a compelling scoreboard. And what that means is something that's fun for you. It's going to be simple. You're going to be able to look at it and see exactly what's happening, very visual. And it's going to tell you immediately if you've hit your goals or if you haven't hit your goals. And you have to focus only on 1 or 2 things. Again, just 1 or 2 things. So, make a fun scoreboard, something that means something to you. And you look at it and you say, oh, I'm getting there, And if you do come up with a really creative one, we would love for you to send it in so that we could see it and celebrate your successes. Now, creating a cadence of accountability, that's the 4th thing. And cadence is so very important in anything that we do. I would not have believed this unless a soldier told me, but a soldier did tell me. And he said that when soldiers walk in cadence, when they march, if they come to a bridge, they break their cadence. And I said, well, why on earth would you do that? He said the actual cadence of them walking across that bridge would create such a vibration that it would bring the bridge down. So you'll never see an army walking in cadence across the bridge because they need that bridge to get where they're going. But that just tells you how important a cadence is. And when we create a cadence, I go to the gym 3 times a week at 9 o'clock in the morning. We have our webinars every second Wednesday of the month, every month or of the year. That creates a cadence and it creates momentum. And you know that when you start a goal, it's really hard to start, but then as you move forward, it kind of takes on a life of itself and momentum is created and it's much easier. So that's why it's so important to create a cadence. Now, a cadence of accountability is look at your progress. Maybe it's once a day, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a month, whatever that interval of time is that makes sense for your goal. Make sure that you check in with yourself or check in with your team. And a really important question to ask yourself as you're doing something, whatever that thing is what is one fundamental shift that I can make that will make a difference in the next 90 days in relationship to my dream? And maybe that shift is going to network events. Maybe it's marketing. Maybe it's focused attention. Whatever it is, think about that. What is that one fundamental shift I can make that's going to move me in the direction of my dream? And the other question you can ask yourself is, what can I do in the next 5 minutes that will put me in the direction of my dream? Because whenever we have little odds and ends of time, that's when, I'm sorry, the webinar went crazy. That's when you're going to be most productive. Athena, are you there? Okay, I wasn't sure if it was working.
Yes, it was working.
Okay, great.
So did anybody have anything to add to what Andrea was sharing today? So Eric, you have something?
I love what you said, Andrea, about wildly important goals. And what comes to me is scary goals. If it's something that you've already done before, that's not really considered a goal. It's a task that maybe you've done. I got to clean the garage. Well, you know how to clean the garage. You know what needs to be done to clean the garage. That's not really a goal. But if it's something that's wild, like something that you've never done before, that's going to cause you to grow, that's what I think about. So I think that's and all those steps are beautiful. So thank you for sharing that wonderful information.
And those steps are good for any task as well. Those steps, I agree with you. Like when we have a dream, if it's something that we've done before, that's not a dream, right? That's what we do. But yeah, a scary goal, something that makes us grow, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, when you push that edge, that edge of where you've known, that's really going to that edge. Did anybody else have anything to share?
Thank you, Andrea, for sharing that. That was amazing.
Yeah. So the last, actually, just to talk about some more, emphasizing what Andrea was talking about, some ideas that came to mind are, we really think in pictures. So Andrea's comment of really creating that creative scoreboard for yourself, because then you can visually see where things are at. Sometimes when you're looking at maybe numbers on a page, nothing's really standing out. But if you put it into a graph, then it's like, oh, now it makes sense. There's more of this than there is of this, and you can obviously see where things are at. So having a compelling, creative scoreboard is very helpful. And like Andrea mentioned, if you happen to have one, go ahead and share it on our Facebook page. We would love to be able to see that. The other was the part about cadence at the very end that she was speaking about. So really, it's when you're taking away, similar to what Eric was saying in his presentation, where you have what you really want to have, what's important for you. It's the law of sacrifice he was talking about. You're removing this, but you have to make sure to put something in that you want. So if you're taking away that half an hour, I think he was saying, of the TV time, and you're putting in the exercise time, then what you use is the cadence. So you're continuously doing that. So then you're establishing that new pattern. So that new habit is what you're going to be creating. So then it becomes second nature for you. So if you see people that are in the health that you want, or they're, financially they're where they want, there's certain things in their life that are a habit for them, and their standard for it is higher. Their cadence is very high to stay focused on where it is that they're going. So I just wanted to add that to what Andrea was sharing on there. So actually, I'm going to be the last speaker for today. So I will go ahead and introduce myself. You have heard everybody say my name, Athina, when we're talking. So actually, yes, my name is Athina Salazar, and I am the Chief Possibility Officer with Life to Design. And today I'm going to be sharing on the first part of what I was going to share with you. So when you receive this, I'm going to put this up there for you. But this is a document that you can download. This is what it's going to look like. It's about, really looking at your biggest challenges, and also about your team. So today, for the time that we have, we're just going to go into the first part. So we'll cover the next part later. So it's really good information. So you're going to want to check into our other webinars. So here, when we look at our biggest challenges, so we really want to look for this example on the sheet. So if you're watching this as a replay, you can pause the video, download the sheet, print it out, and then start the video back up again. But here, these are some of your biggest challenges. So as a solopreneur or a business owner, these are some of the things that you would run into. A lot of times businesses have the initial problem of, they know that this is what they want to do. They actually start building their business. They start doing things, but they really don't have a mission or a vision. They don't have a vision, like, what do I want my business to be like in 3 years? What do I want my business to be like in 5 years? Is it just me this whole time? Or am I going to actually have a team around me? What do I desire for that to look like? So really dialing that in. So that could be a challenge that you're facing, is really figuring out, what is it that I truly, truly want to have and create? The other is identifying your ideal client. That may be something that you're having a struggle with, because many times I've run into business owners saying, my clients, like if they're a chiropractor, everybody has a spine, so everybody's my client. And so, like, not really, because there's a specific service that you provide that would be the best fit for someone. So it's the same thing in any business. If you're an auto mechanic, do you specialize in a particular type of vehicle? What is your specialty? If you're a dentist, is it, you want things to be as pain-free as possible, cheerful environment? Is there something else? Maybe there's nutrition that you provide as well as, dental services. What are the different things that you have? So when you're looking at your ideal client, you look at your strengths, and you look and find out who would be the best fit for me to work with. And then it's almost like a target. So in the middle is the people that are the best match to what you provide, and the ones that when you're helping them, they're the ones where you're like, I really look forward to this client coming in, and being able to help them. So that would be an indication of who your ideal client is. And you may have others that are outside of that target, and you can service them and help them, as much as you can, as much as you would your ideal client. But there's really that ideal client that is going to speak to your business. And once you're refined in your area of ideal client, then you're going to be able to attract more of your ideal client to you. So, and then it's very easy to refer you to other people because they know exactly what your specialties are. So other challenges that businesses may have is actually branding themselves. And like I was mentioning just a few moments ago, what makes you different? So branding, as you can see, it could be a logo. A lot of people think of branding as a logo. That could differentiate yourself so people recognize that. You recognize Coca-Cola, Best Buy, all of these other businesses that have their logo, and that's branding in a certain sense, yes. But there's also branding of how do you differentiate yourself from somebody else that's in a similar field. So also too, how do you reach out to your clients? That could be a challenge that you're running into. And the list, like you can see on your sheet, the other ones could be, just the paperwork, in order to do your business, for somebody to work with you, that could be a challenge. Your processing, your service and your sales delivery, identifying who is your power partner, because with your ideal client, there's probably somebody out there that is right there, very close to your ideal client. It's figuring out who that could possibly be. So there's also, for example, to give you an example, there was somebody that I know that has a lawn service, right? So a power partner for that person could be the person that comes and reads the water meters, or your electricity, your PG&E, if you're here in US or somewhere around, like your electricity, being able to see that, because that person could, they're over there to every single house in the area, and they would know which ones actually require maybe even tree service. They're just looking and like, oh, those trees are really bad. They really need help with their lawn, and things like that. So they could be that power partner to say, hey, this area really needs some service, and then that could be a power partner for you. So that's an example where somebody may not think of the two of them being power partners, but they could, because they're obviously right there with their ideal client. They need lawn service, or their trees are, falling down and they need some help with that. So that's to give you some examples. So all of the rest here really give you an idea, and there may be more. So please share with us if there are other challenges that aren't listed on here that you see as challenges in your businesses. So on this side of the sheet, it really talks about, think about from these challenges, or maybe what's going on right now in your business. What are the things that are actually draining you? The things that when you go to do them, you might have piles of paper on your desk. Maybe it's receipts and you're like, I really don't like doing the bookkeeping, for my business. So that's something that drains you. So when you do it, it's not really servicing you. It's not really helping your business move forward. So there's a spot there for you to be able to write down, what is draining you. And then think about the things that energize you. Maybe something that energizes you is actually going out and meeting people, going out and talking about your business, going out and servicing the clients, and maybe you're creative in some way and you really like writing or creating content. You want to make sure that you've listed those areas that energize you, because the key is for you to actually stay in the tasks that energize you, because that is going to be able to call to your strengths, and then you're going to be able to be more effective in your business. And then from the things that drain you, or the other things that are managing the business, like kind of working in your business, those are the things that you can figure out on what could I possibly delegate. So you may not have the funds right now to hire someone, but you could actually maybe use technology that could remind you about certain things, or you can move about like that. So you can have technology help you. Maybe when you do get some funds, maybe it's just 2 hours a week that you have somebody come in to do a very specific task, which allows you more time to do the things that energize you. So for right now, you can think of, what is that one challenge that you would like to address, maybe in the next 2 weeks, or maybe before our next webinar? What is that challenge that you want to work on? And you could possibly incorporate that into your goals that we're talking about and calendarize that, figure out a time that you're going to sit down, think about addressing it, and being able to bring that together. So here it is a two-sided sheet, but like I said, we're going to cover this in another webinar, and it's very exciting. So you're going to want to check back for that. So I'm going to bring everybody else back up to see if there's any other additions to what I said for us to be able to share. So any other comments or questions?
I'm very excited to see for next month to see the second side. That's cool.
Yes.
And I'm going to print, as soon as we get off the call, I'm going to print mine right away, my copy right away. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and you want to go through and highlight for yourself, what you...
Amazing form, Athina. If you're looking for structure, your form says it all. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yep. So we're here to be able to help you in any way possible. So we want to make sure that the tools that we're providing are very effective for you. So any feedback that you could give us is greatly appreciated. So we're getting here close to the top of the hour. So we're actually going to have Eric's going to be sharing with you about that special that he was talking about.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. If you'd like to explore how you can gain a further understanding of how to ask the questions that pertain to your life, click the request contact button in the chat area to choose who you would like from Mastermind Magic to contact you. Now, this is your special gift of a complimentary strategy session. Now, remember to like us on Facebook to receive life-enhancing tips and notifications of upcoming events. The address is in the chat, which is the top corner, sorry, not the top, but the right-hand side of the platform. Now, for your reference, here's a calendar you can download that lists all of our online events. If you're watching this video as a replay, you can actually find a link to this calendar in the description area of this video. Now you can see our Mastermind Magic members live all around the world. Make sure to check out our Facebook page for upcoming events and details. And I believe that Felicia is going to have an event, and she's going to come on right now, and she's going to be sharing our event with us here today.
Thank you, Eric. Yes, I'm having a workshop, The Power of Vision. For those of you who live in Montreal, the workshop is going to take place on February 3rd. Details to my workshop are going to be reflected on our Facebook page. So I hope to see you there. Thank you, Eric.
All right, we are so looking forward here at Mastermind Magic to see you again. Our next online event is on Wednesday. It's actually on Valentine's Day. So Wednesday, February 14th. It's at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm always getting mixed up with these time differences. So if everybody can come on here, and everybody is on here. So create a great day, everyone. Thank you all for coming, and it was wonderful to have you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.